board. So let's get going. This class is all going to be about Chapter 3, Glazing. Those of you that have not been hanging out with me throughout this entire series, man, you missed out. So the first one is a hazardous location indoors. Doors, by nature, attract a human to them, right? Every other part of the wall, we're not walking up on a daily basis and getting really close in proximity to, or maybe having a bunch of stuff in our hands while we're operating the door, or maybe we're in a hurry to come in or out of the door for a number of reasons. We don't do that just around walls, but we do it at doors. So because of the higher probability of human traffic by doors and operating and moving a door, clearly that's a hazardous location for glazing. And so we're going to get things like this. This glazing you see up in here in the door, in any part of the door, is going to need to be safety glazed. Now, this includes the operable portion of a door, like here you see a sliding glass door. That's the operable portion. It also includes all fixed portions of the door. So maybe this section should really not say door, it should say door assembly. Because often we think about door, we just think about the actual door, right? I could take a door off its hinges and I have a door. But the code is really saying in this, the operable and the fixed panels, so it's talking about all the glass in the door assembly. All right, exceptions. Exceptions are important. Exceptions are our clarifiers. And the first exception, and it's one that comes up a lot, is decorative glazing. What the heck is that? Well, it's stained glass, okay? The world doesn't know decorative glazing or dull glass. They say stained glass, and that's really what this is trying to get to. But I'm going to bring up the definition for this, and bit by bit by bit, to show you how careful and specific this definition is trying to be. Like, there's very little wiggle room here, okay? What you're looking at is, this is what the definition is speaking to. It says a carved, leaded, or dull glass or glazing material. Carved, leaded, giving us very specific things. With a purpose that is decorative or artistic, not functional. Again, very specific, okay? Decorative, artistic. Oh, it goes on. With coloring, texture, or other design qualities or components that cannot be removed without destroying the glazing material, right? Good luck finding like your grandma's stained glass from the house your grandpa built years ago, and it's all safety glazed. It's all tempered glass. We're going to put a film over this beautiful stuff. We know it's still kind of hazardous. It's glass, but we also know people love their stained glass. And you cannot enforce an authority over people without really understanding the authority those people are going to let you put over them. And so the code is kind of giving a little bit here, but it's giving with some very specific details. And then it goes on to say, with a surface or assembly into which it is incorporated that is divided into segments. So all of these things are speaking to, you know, most stained glass is smaller pieces, right? It's divided into segments that it's incorporated into assembly. You could have stained glass with big giant pieces of glass within it, and guess what? Walk real carefully around it and enjoy the beauty of your stained glass. And that's the trade-off the code gives. But it's very specific. There's no loopholes here. All right, what's the other exception? The other exception goes back to that concept of size of the glass. You know, I mean, if I have, we carry around glass in our little phones all day long, and we're not worried about being hurt by it, right? Because it's so small. And so you get an exception that says if you have an opening, a glazed opening in a door, or the fixed panel, so a door assembly is what it should say. If you can't allow the passage, or if it won't, a 3-inch diameter sphere won't pass through, then it does not have to be safety glazed. Now, yes, my scale up here is completely off, but I wanted a big enough circle you could see what I'm talking about. So this is the same rule that we learned about guards in the previous guard section of this whole webinar series, except the guards are a 4-inch sphere. So just remember 3-inch sphere when we get to this. And then look at this picture here, right? Often we think about the fixed panel, our brain goes to sliding glass doors. But if you read the code, it says operable or fixed panels in sliding, swinging, or bifold doors. So this part right here is going to be the same fixed panel of the door, really the door assembly, and this would also apply to the glazing in the door. Make sense? Okay. Even though it's, you know, sliding glass door, fixed panel, or side light, same thing. Next section, 308.4.2. And with that, I will close it out, and you guys have a wonderful weekend. Happy